the devil is moving.
Alex, as always, we have a lot of individual.
The devil is moving. So listen, this is like a Palantir conference or meeting or something like that.
Alex, as always, we have a lot of individual investors on the line. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end the call?
So listen, this is like a Palantir conference or meeting or something like that.
Alex, as always, we have a lot of individual investors on the line. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end the call?
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let's not talk to analysts about the burden of being right, our burdens of investing in ontology, our burdens of actually looking at the math, the burden of reading what the Rule of 40 is, the burden of being honest about what an enterprise software company is, or the burden of explaining to your friends that you're really happy. Maybe we should just stop talking about it. I'm very happy to have you along for the journey, and you are partners for us. Every Palantirian, we are crushing it. Everyone else who's listening, we are dedicating our company. We have dedicated our company to the service of the West and the United States of America, and we're super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. And we love our success in the U.S. and globally. Also, we are doing in the United Kingdom and many other places. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that. We hope you're enjoying being a partner, and we're really happy and very, very focused on what we're doing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That concludes Q.
Enemies and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
Remember, Trump been talking about.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'm going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And peace and salutations to the Lord's elect out there feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, with sincerity and truth. I'm the brother Barak, and Lord willing, this will be another edifying lesson. And basically, this guy, right? This guy, Devil Esau, he's getting ready to use his sword on a nationwide scale, right? This man you can see the excitement in his voice. He's saying, we're doing it, right? He's ready to, rain terror, right? As you can see in the video, you have the Palantir, appears to be the CEO of some sort. Palantir is a U.S. technology company that builds data analytical software primarily known for governments and large organizations integrate, manage, and analyze massive complex data sets for decision-making areas in life, like defense, intelligence, lawmaking, defense, intelligence, law enforcement, and commercial operations, right? So you see this devil, he's getting ready, man. He's gonna use this type of technology, to track people, see who's got that digital ID, see who's an immigrant, see who's all sorts of things, right? That this software Palantir in particular, it's used basically for track like some of the parts of the software. It's used to track different neighborhoods, see what routes people are taking, to basically spy on these what some of the things they're doing is spying on people who are illegal immigrants, right? Criminals. Right, but ultimately they're gonna be using this to spy on who? Jake, right? Us, the prophets, the men of the Lord, right? They're gonna use, you can be sure that they're gonna use this type of technology against us too, right? This is 2 Ezra 16:71. It says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." Right? So what's gonna happen, man? These devils, they're gonna kill everybody, and they're gonna even try. To kill the man of the Lord, right? But first they're gonna start off with the vulnerable people, right? They're gonna start off with this. You already know the single mother is gonna get. You already know the single mothers are about to get. The first ones to get taken up, right? These women that are on the streets, just gathering abroad. The Lord has he has a very special type of judgment going to these people. And then you got these wicked ass men out there, right? And the Lord ain't gonna care if you're a woman, a child, right? If you got a job, if you got a family, because if you're not one of His men, man, you're not gonna be able to get the Lord. He's not gonna give you that divine protection, right? Which means He's ultimately not dealing with you. This is the book of Isaiah 59:19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." Right, so we don't have to worry because we're gonna be lifted up, standard, man. Right, we're gonna get those new spiritual powers. Right, Lord willing, we're part of that number. Right, but the elect's gonna get that new spiritual power, so where these people, they're not gonna be able to do shit against us, right? They're not gonna be able to do shit. And they could use their lasers, right? Their DEWs, their sound weapons, their rail guns, right? Because Esau, he has all these type of weapons, right? But our weapons are not carnal, right? The Lord, He's gonna give us that He's gonna make sure that we're standards above this guy, right? That's why this devil, he knows about us, right? He's preparing for us. That's why. Well, you got the show like Invincible, right? They showed us they had a laser in this. They had a laser in the sky, right? Shooting down a I believe it was Omni-Man, right? And it later on the laser it showed a 144 on top on the laser, right? Because this devil, he puts in his TV shows, subliminal messages towards us, right? But he knows about about the hopeful elect, right? They know we're gonna get these spiritual powers. That's why they're preparing, to do whatever the fuck they want, right? Their pride is so great that they really believe that they're gonna be able to, survive against Yahushua and his army, right? And this is Genesis 27:40. It says, "And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." Right. So, what I was talking about, this devil Esau, he put us into captivity, right? And we're gonna, Lord is gonna give us the power to finally get out of this this devil's captivity, right? We're gonna finally this devil's no longer gonna have control over us and what we do, and we're not gonna, his weapons aren't gonna be used against us, right? We're gonna be able to beat the fuck out of this guy, and that's what we're waiting for, right? Because what the scriptures say, what it says, Isaiah 33:18, "Thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counted the towers?" Right? So we're gonna meditate terror on these people, man. We're gonna really make sure what they did to us is what they're gonna reap what they sowed, right? An eye for an eye, right? Everything that they did to us, man, we're gonna beat the fuck out of them. But it don't even matter what type of weapons they have. Shalom.